All right, now there's talk of how Jeb Bush is a moderate in this Republican field. Really? Now, you know about Kim Davis. She's the county clerk in Kentucky who decided that she was going to take away people's rights, that the Supreme Court decided gay people have the same exact rights as straight Americans to get married. And she decided, no, my religious opinion outweighs the Supreme Court, outweighs the law of the land, and I get to take away people's rights. So you're not surprised that Mike Huckabee and Ted Cruz and those guys are in favor of her. But the jury was out on Jeb Bush. He seemed like he was going to be against her. He was going to be a real moderate and say, no, of course we have to listen to the law, and your religion can't trump the law. We don't live in a nation run by religion. We're not Iran, Saudi Arabia, or the Vatican. Well, in the debate, the jury came in. Listen to what Mike Huckabee says about Kim Davis first, and then hear Jeb Bush capitulate.
Governor Bush, for example, says that clerk is sworn to uphold the law. Is Governor Bush on the wrong side of the criminalization of Christianity?
No, I don't think he's on the wrong side of such an issue. Jeb is a friend. I'm not up here to fight with Jeb or to fight with anybody else. But I am here to fight for somebody who is a county clerk elected under the Kentucky Constitution that 75% of the people of that state had voted for, that said that marriage was between a man and a woman. The Supreme Court, in a very, very divided decision, decided out of thin air that they were just going to redefine marriage. I thought that everybody here passed ninth grade civics. The courts cannot legislate. It's what Roberts said. But heck, it's what we learned in civics. I thought we had three branches of government. They were all equal to each other. We had separation of powers, and we had checks and balances. If the court can just make a decision and we just all surrender to it, we have what Jefferson said was judicial tyranny. We made accommodation to the Fort Hood shooter to let him grow a beard. What else is it other than the criminalization of her faith and the exaltation of the faith of everyone else who might be a Fort Hood shooter or a detainee at Gitmo?
Well, I'm not telling you that, Governor, but Governor Bush is because he disagrees. He thinks that Kim Davis swore to uphold the law. You disagree. You're not. You don't believe
think
that?
You're not stating my views right.
Okay, please do.
I think there needs to be accommodation for someone acting on their faith. Religious conscience is a first freedom. It's a powerful part of our Bill of Rights. This should be solved at the local level.
You did,
and so we do agree, Mike.
Well,
I was
Governor, you said,
by Mr. Tepper here.
Governor, you said, quote, she is sworn to uphold the law.
She is, and so if she, based on conscience, can't sign that marriage license, then there should be someone in her office to be able to do it. And if the law needs to be changed in the state of Kentucky, which is what she's advocating, it should be changed.
So what happened to that moderate? So here's a guy who's now saying if you're a Christian zealot and you want to take away gay people's rights, you should have the right to do it. Let's just decide it at the local level. And more importantly, now that's an enormously important issue, but what's more important is, wait a minute, are we going to have a president that actually listens to our rule of law and our form of government? Or is Jeb Bush going to be like Mike Huckabee? I don't care what the Supreme Court says. Ironically, he cites civics class. Apparently he never attended a civics class. The Supreme Court's job is to interpret the law, interpret the Constitution. And if they've interpreted the Constitution that equal rights actually means equal rights for everyone, as the Constitution clearly states, and then you say, I'm not going to uphold that, and if I'm the executive branch, I will not implement that, that is not the American form of government. It's almost a coup by the executive branch saying, I don't care what the Supreme Court decides. It ruins our form of government. And I get it when a demagogue like Huckabee does it. But if Jeb Bush completely agrees, as he just did there, then there's no difference. The final judgment on Jeb Bush is, yes, he's a panderer, and yes, just like the other guys, he's apparently a demagogue, and he is an absolute extreme right-winger, and there's no difference between him, those other guys. I didn't say it. You just heard him say it himself.